In this video, we are going to discuss dual simplex method. The dual simplex method is different from the regular simplex method and has some different applications. So first of all, we discuss what are the differences in dual simplex method and the regular simplex method. So in regular simplex method, we know that the initial basic feasible solution or the initial solution is always feasible. So regular simplex method starts with a feasible solution or basic feasible solution and works towards optimality. That means in successive steps we move towards the optimality. So we find optimal solution starting with initial basic feasible solution. Okay, feasible solution means the basic variables are non-negative. But in dual simplex method, we start with an optimal basic infeasible solution. That means the starting solution is always optimal, but it is infeasible. Infeasible in the sense that the values of basic variables are negative. Not values of all variables, but some of the basic variables are negative. In regular simplex method, first we decide the incoming variable and then the outgoing variable. While in dual simplex method, we just reverse this process. First we decide the outgoing variable and then incoming variable. Okay, so the dual simplex method is used when net evaluations del j equal to cj minus zj is less than or equal to 0 and one or more bi means values of basic variables are negative. Okay, so this is the condition for starting with dual simplex method. We must have net evaluations, all net evaluations negative or 0 and one or more basic variables negative. That means optimal basic feasible solution is optimal basic solution is infeasible. So we start with an infeasible solution. And what is the use of this dual simplex method? It is generally used in sensitivity analysis when we have found the optimal solution of a given linear programming problem, and then after finding the optimal solution, if we add some constant to this solution or this problem, then it is generally required to use dual simplex method, because in that case we generally come across with infeasibility. So to remove infeasibility, we use dual simplex method. So in short, dual simplex method removes the infeasibility in the solution and gives the feasible solution. It always starts with optimal infeasible solution. Okay, so the starting point of the dual simplex method is optimal infeasible solution. So let's look at the steps of dual simplex method. Working procedure of dual simplex method. So first step, convert the problem into maximization canonical form if it is not so. That means given problem, if you want to solve it using dual simplex method, then convert the problem into maximization canonical form. A canonical form means if objective function is of maximization type, then all the constants are of less than or equal to type. And if the objective function is of minimization type, then all the constants are of greater than or equal to type. Then second step is express the problem into standard form. This is the starting point of simplex method. So you must express the canonical form into its standard form using slack and surplus variables. The standard form means expressing inequalities into equations. Then find initial basic solution and the dual simplex table. I am not saying here initial basic feasible solution, because if solution is feasible, then there is no meaning of using dual simplex method. Dual simplex method is used only when you find initial basic solution as infeasible. So find the initial basic solution and the dual simplex table. That means you find the simplex table. Now check the conditions. If all net evaluations Cj minus Zj less than or equal to 0 and all Bi, that means values of all basic variables, are greater than or equal to 0, then the optimal feasible solution is achieved. So there is no need to use dual simplex method. If any one or more net evaluation greater than or equal to 0, the method fails. Okay, so net evaluation, if any one or more greater than or equal to 0, then you cannot use this method, or this method fails. Then this condition, if all del j Cj minus Zj less than or equal to 0, that means all net evaluations are less than or equal to 0 and at least one basic variable, value of one basic variable less than 0, then we can use dual simplex method. So this is the condition for using the or starting with dual simplex method. So this is very important condition. In above two conditions we cannot use dual simplex method. So this is the important condition, where net evaluations are less than or equal to 0 and at least one basic variable less than 0 or negative. Then this is the criteria for selecting the outgoing variable. So first of all, we look at the rows or look at the values of basic variables. Select the row that contains most negative bi. Bi means value of basic variables. So values of basic variables, if we look at, if there are more than one negative basic variables, then we select the most negative as the key row. The corresponding basic variable will be the outgoing variable. If in the key row all elements are greater than or equal to 0, now you check in the key row, if you find all the elements are greater than or equal to 0, then the problem does not have a feasible solution. So you leave the problem with the remark that problem does not have a feasible solution. If at least one element in the key row less than 0, then incoming variable corresponds to the jth column, for which we have minimum of Cj minus Zj upon Aij. That means you divide the net evaluation by that negative element and you do it for all negative elements, then you find minimum of this ratio. So whenever you find this minimum ratio, that column corresponds to the incoming variable. Okay, so variable corresponding to that column will be incoming variable. Then use the usual method, simplex method, make the key element unity and perform row operations. That means you make all the other entries in that column 0 using this key element. Okay, if you make this key element unity or 1, then using this 1 you make all other elements in the column 0. Okay, and repeat this process until you get the feasible solution. Okay, so all these steps I will explain, I will demonstrate all these steps using an example. So consider this example to demonstrate what is dual simplex method and how to start. So this problem is of minimization type, minimize z x1 plus 4x2 plus 2x3 plus 7x4 under these constraints. So we have to use dual simplex method. So first of all, we express this problem as a maximization canonical form. Okay, so maximization canonical form is this. So minimization function is converted into maximization function by taking this. So z star is maximum of minus z So if we put negative sign, we get corresponding maximization function. Subject to, now all these inequalities are converted into less than or equal to type. So we see that all three inequalities are of greater than or equal to type. So we convert them into less than or equal to type by multiplying by -1. So if we multiply by -1 to first inequality, we get this. Then if we multiply by -1 to second inequality, we get this, and the third inequality. Okay, then we express the problem into standard form. So to express this problem, this canonical form into standard form, we need three slack variables. So slack variables S1, S2 and S3. So we require three slack variables. So we put them into the objective function. So this is the objective function, maximization of -z. So here we put -z. This is -z. And we have three slack variables, S1, S2 and S3. So coefficients of these three variables are 0 here. Subject to, now what is the first inequality when expressed as equality? So 5x1 plus 2x2 plus 7x3 minus 2x4 plus x1. So here coefficient of first slack variable is 1 and coefficient of all other two slack variables are 0, equal to -3. Similarly, in the second inequality, we require another slack variable which is S2. In the third inequality, we require S3. So this is the standard form of this canonical form or this linear programming problem. So this is the starting point. Now set up the usual simplex table. So how to set up the usual simplex table? So in initial basic solution is this: x1, x2, x3, x4 equal to 0 and s1 equal to -3, s2 equal to -7, x3 equal to -4, z star equal to 0. Now I am saying here initial basic solution. I am not saying initial basic feasible solution, because this is not feasible, as these are the basic variables which are negative. Okay, so that's why this solution is not feasible. So now set up the dual simplex table. So dual simplex table is this. So first row is the coefficients of variables in the objective function. So -1, -4, -2, -7, 0, 0, 0. These are the coefficients in the objective function. These are the variables. These are Decision variables x1, x2, x3, x4, and s1, s2, s3 are slack variables, and this is b, RHS, values of the basic variables. So this first row is the first equality, coefficients of first equality equal to -3, and this is the first basic variable, the variable which is non-zero in the initial solution. So s1 is non-zero, which is -3, then s2 is equal to -7, and these are the coefficients in the second equality, and these are the coefficients in the third equality, and this is the third basic variable which is non-zero, value is -4. Okay, so this is the structure of the table. As usual, this is just like simplex table. Now we calculate Zj. Zj is the total cost. So total cost is calculated like this. So when you multiply this column CB with this column, corresponding element 0 into -5, 0 into 6, 0 into -3, we get 0. Similarly, this column with this column, 0 into 2, 0 into -1, 0 into 1, we get 0, and so on. Okay, now find net evaluations. Cj minus Zj, or net cost change. So -1 minus 0 is -1, -4 minus 0 is minus 4, minus 2 minus 0 is minus 2, and so on. Now this solution, initial solution, is not feasible because of these values. All these are negative. Okay, so at least if at least one value is negative, then solution is not feasible. And we see that optimality condition is satisfied. So here optimality condition is satisfied, but the solution is not feasible. Okay, so we can apply dual simplex method. To apply dual simplex method, now look at the most negative value in this column. So most negative value is minus 7. So if we choose this most negative value, this will give the key row. This is element which gives key row. Okay, so the row corresponding to this most negative element is the key row, and this is the key row, and this is also the outgoing variable. So s2 is the outgoing variable. So s2 will leave the basis. This is called basis. S2 will leave the basis. Okay, and we see that in the key row we have negative elements also, so it has a feasible solution, or you can proceed with the dual simplex method. If all these were positive elements or 0, then the problem has an infeasible solution. You cannot proceed further, right? Now to decide the incoming variable, we calculate this ratio. So to calculate this ratio, we use only these negative values in the key row. So negative value minus 1 and this minus 4. So minus 4 divided by minus 1 is 4, and minus 7 divided by minus 3 is 7 by 3, and we leave all other values because they are either 0 or positive. So between these two, least element is this, or least value is this. So this is the incoming variable. So x4 is incoming variable and this is outgoing variable. So s2 will leave the basis and x4 will enter the basis. Okay, so next table is like this. So I am calculating the values here. So s1 will be there in the basis, and in place of s2 we include x4 because x4 is incoming variable. Corresponding to this column, the variable is x4. Now coefficient of s1 is as before 0. Coefficient of x4 in the objective function is minus 7, so we put minus 7 here, and the third variable s3 as it is with coefficient 0. Now what we have to do, we have to take this key row. So in this key row, the element at the point of intersection of incoming variable and outgoing variable is called the key row, key element. So we divide all the elements of this row by the key element, so we get the new row as, so 6 divided by minus 3 is minus 2, minus 1 divided by minus 3 is 1 by 3, 4 divided by minus 3 is 4 by 3, minus, and this is 1, this is 0, this is minus 1 by 3, then 0 and 7 by 3. Okay, so this is the new row, modified row, when we divide all the elements of the key row by minus 3 or by key element. Now using this one, we make all other entries 0 in this column. So if we look at this element, this is minus 2. So when we multiply this 1 by 2 and then add this to this minus 2, we get 0. So in general, we multiply this row by 2, we multiply throughout by 2 and then add this row to this previous row. Okay, so when you multiply by 2, this will become minus 4, minus 4 minus 5 will become minus 9. Okay, Then 2 into 1 by 3 is 2 by 3, 2 by 3 plus 2, which is 8 by 3. Then 2 into minus 4 by 3 is minus 8 by 3, minus 8 by 3 plus 7 is 13 by 3. You can check. Then 2 into 1 is 2, plus minus 2 is 0. Then 2 into 0, 0, so this is 1 as it is. Then 2 into minus 1 by 3 is minus 2 by 3, so this is minus 2 by 3 here, and 0. Then what is the value here? 14 by 3 minus 3, which is 5 by 3. So this is the modified row. Now similarly, using this one, we make this element 0. So we need to multiply by minus 2. So minus 2 into 1 plus this 2 will become 0. So now multiply this row throughout by minus 2. So I am multiplying by minus 2 and then adding this row to this last row. So multiply by minus 2. So minus 2 into minus 2, 4. 4 plus minus 3 is 1. Okay. Then minus 2 into this 1 by 3 minus 2 by 3, minus 2 by 3 plus 1 is 1 by 3. Then this entry will become 7 by 3 minus 7 by 3. This will become 0, then 0, then 2 by 3, and then 1 as it is. And 2 into 7 minus 14 by 3 minus 4. This becomes minus 26 by 3. Right? So using this row, key row, we make all other entries 0 in the corresponding column. So we get this modified elements or modified entries. Okay. Now as usual, the most negative element here is minus 26 by 3. So we see that this solution again is not feasible. This is infeasible. Now before that, we calculate again Zj and net evaluation del j. So I am writing here Zj. So Zj is again calculated as usual. 0 into minus 9, 0, minus 7 into minus 2, minus 14, plus 14, 0 into 1, 1. So this is 14. Then 7 into this, minus 7 by 3, minus plus 28 by 3, and so on. Okay. Now what is the value of Z star? So to find value of Z star, we just take this 7 by 3 and we multiply by minus 7, because we have x4 equal to 7 by 3, s1 equal to 5 by 3, s3 equal to minus 26 by 3, and x1 x2 equal to x1 x2 x3 equal to 0. So if we put x4 equal to 7 by 3 in the objective function, we get minus 49 by 3. Right? So again, looking at the elements, we find net evaluation. So net evaluation as before, minus 1, minus 14, minus 15, minus 4, minus 5 by 3, minus 7 by 3 will give minus 5 by 3, and so on. So this is the net evaluation. Okay. So the net evaluation row is this, and we see that all the entries in the net evaluation row is less than or equal to 0. Okay. And all the entries here, if you look at all the entries, we see that here in this minus 26 by 3. So this solution is again infeasible. So again we get infeasible solution, optimal solution, but it is infeasible. So again we modify using the usual method. Okay. So usual steps which we have done here. We again apply those steps. So here again we see that most negative is 26 by 3. So 26 by 3 is the key row. So the row corresponding to minus 26 by 3 is the key row. This is called key row. Okay, and this is the outgoing variable. So this time S3 will be outgoing variable. And what is incoming variable? So to find incoming variable, we calculate this ratio. So we look at the elements in the key row. We have only one negative element, so divide by this element. So minus 34 by 3 divided by minus 7 by 3 is 34 by 7. So we have only one positive entry in this ratio. So this is the incoming variable. So x3 is incoming variable and s3 is outgoing variable, right? So using the same procedure which we have done here, we modify this table. So we get this. So we replace here s3 by x3 with the coefficient minus 2. So in the next table we have here minus 2, here we will have x3, and we divide this all these entries in the key row by the key element. This is now the key element. So divide by the key element throughout. So we get this. So I have calculated all these entries. You can calculate by yourself, and you see the modified table or the new table is this. So what is the procedure? Using this row, this key row, and this element 1, you make all other entries 0 in the previous table. Okay, so in the previous table you make all other entries 0 using this 1. So multiply the suitable number here and make 0 here, and then multiply a suitable number here and make 0 here. So in this way all these entries will be changed. So this is the new table. So again here we see that we have minus 101 by 7. So again we will mark it as the key row. That means this time S1 will be the outgoing variable and the incoming variable will be calculated as before. So 0 into minus 50 by 7 plus minus 7 into this plus minus 2 into minus 3 by 7. So total sum is 132 by 7 and so on. So again Cj minus Zj minus 1 minus 132 by 7 is this minus 4 plus 5 by 7 and so on. So here we see that all the net evaluations are less than or equal to 0 and all one entry in column B is negative. So again solution is not feasible but optimal. The solution is optimal but not feasible. So we mark this as a key row. So this element or this variable will be outgoing variable. Now to decide incoming variable, we look at the key row. So this is the key row, the elements of key row. This is the negative. So only one element is negative here. So if we divide by this negative element, 139 by 7 divided by minus 50 by 7 will give 139 by 50. And we leave all other entries because these are all either positive or 0. So this is the incoming variable this time. Incoming variable is x1, outgoing variable is s1. So as before, this is the key element. Now this becomes key element. So divide this row throughout by minus 50 by 7. So you get this row. Okay, and using this 1 here, you make this 18 by 7 0. So multiply by 18 by 7 and add it to this row. You get this modified row. Okay, so multiply by 18 by 7 and add it to the second row. you get this modified row. And then we have minus 3 by 7, so multiply by 3 by 7 and add to this row. So multiply throughout by 3 by 7, so multiply here by 3 by 7. So multiply this row by 3 by 7 and add this row to the third row, so you get this modified row. Now we see that all the entries in this column B are positive. Okay, so this solution is feasible, and let's see whether it is optimal or not. So to find optimality, we multiply here minus 1 into 1, minus 7 into 0, minus 2 into 0. Total sum is minus 1. Similarly, minus 1 into 23 by 50, minus 7 into 26 by 25, minus 2 into 17 by 50. Total sum is this. So we calculate all these sums, and this Z star is minus 4927 by 50. So how to find this Z star? Minus 1 into 101 by 50, minus 7 into 312 by 25, and minus 2 into 229 by 50. Total sum is this. Because x1 equal to 101 by 50, x4 equal to 312 by 25, x3 equal to 229 by 50. So if we put x1, x3 and x4 into the objective function, we get this 4927 by 50. So now we see that all net evaluations are less than or equal to 0, and all the entries in the column B are greater than 0. So this solution is now feasible. So we had started from an infeasible solution, optimal but infeasible, and we have obtained a feasible and optimal solution. So we move from optimal infeasible to optimal feasible solution. This is the dual simplex method. So what is the solution? The solution is this: Z minimum is minus Z star. Minus Z star is 4927 divided by 50, which is at x1 equal to 101 by 50. So we read here x1 equal to 101 by 50, x2 equal to 0 because x2 is not present in this basis, in this column. x3 equal to 229 by 50, and x4 equal to 312 by 25. So if we put all these value into objective function, we get this. So this is how we find solution by dual simplex method. So in short, dual simplex method starts with an optimal infeasible solution and gives an optimal feasible solution, right? So this is the procedure. So you can verify all these entries by calculating yourself. Okay. So thanks for watching.